which brings us to one of our favorite segments we do every single Monday. It's time for Prospecting with the Welsh. That's when our good friend the Welsh goes and tells you about some of the prospects in Major League Baseball that are going to make some impacts for you on your fantasy team sooner than later. And Welsh, one of these guys you're going to talk about in Tampa, 2 weeks ago, I did a full segment on. So I'm very glad that you are coming around on this player too. Plus, we've got the big prospect watch we're on. Last week, we're on Nick Kurtz watch. This week, it's Bubba watch. I think we need that.
We are
Law
on
and Order theme there.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. There it is.
Dun, dun,
Bubba watch.
dun, dun. We are officially on Bubba Chandler watch after 5 starts. It's kind of been a story we've been telling over the last couple of weeks. I've been building you guys up to what I thought. The last start I told you was the could go either way start. Maybe if they really wanted to push something, he'd come up. I kind of think on how things were going, he was going to get that start. So I am saying is like, I really think his next start should be in the majors, which would line him up for this week. But we do not have that information. We'll see, but that's why we're on Bubba Watch. 1.33 ERA over 5 starts. He has a 0.64 whip right now. And I've really liked the pitch mix changes we've seen. I think it was a start ago. We saw the changeup usage go way up. It was like in the 20% over the slider. That was versus the first start, which it was like first couple starts was fastball, slider. Then this last start where I believe he gave up 1 hit, walk. He did hit 2 batters, but walked none. 4 strikeouts. We saw the curveball go up more and the changeup. So he was a real true 4-pitch mix. He's healthy. He looks good. We're officially on Bubba Chandler watch. I would pick him up this week if he is floating in your leagues because he's going to be a top wire guy. And look what happened with Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz, he came up on a Tuesday and everyone had to wait a whole week for Fab. Get him now if you have the ability because it should be this start or at worst next week. No more wasted bullets. Bubba Chandler watch has officially begun.
Good times there. Hopefully things continue to go in the right direction for the Pirates. God forbid they go get some offense soon. Anyway, let's talk about Roman Anthony because he has absolutely been on fire as well. Last 15 days, the OPS is through the roof. He is really knocking at the door. So the problem is, are the Red Sox going to start letting him in, Welsh?
That I don't know. And he's the trickiest of the trickies right now with Roman Anthony because I think I have an article coming up this week, if you guys want to check it out on FantasyPros, of the 5 prospects to stash and 5 that are deeper. And I wrote in this, April 10th, Roman Anthony had a 167, 178 average, something around there. As of today, it's over 300. He's hitting 313. So he has really figured out the level, which is fantastic. Strikeouts seem to be going away. The bat is flying. He's hitting homers. He's doing all the things he's got to do. But where does he play? And that's the mystery of all of that. And I think it's even a little bit wonkier because Christian Campbell kind of stinks at second base. So if they were to make a move, I think the most likely, but he's hitting too well. The likely situation would be Campbell to the outfield and Marcelo Mayer would come in and play like a second base. And that even more muddies the water for Roman Anthony. So can they figure it out? Like, sure, they can, but Wilyer is too good. Campbell could be in the outfield. Obviously, you have Duran, and then Devers is locked into the DH spot. I really don't know where he is, but he is the top hitting prospect that is sitting out there in the wings. If you have the stomach to store him, you should, because he'll be a top full-on waiver wire guy, but there is no like perceivable timetable for what it is, but he's hitting really well. And I think he could come up at any time if someone were to get injured. Yeah. I didn't even say Rafaela. There's just so many guys that are out there. I don't know how they get him in.
I stashed Mayer in my home league over the weekend, not Mike Mayer, Marcelo Mayer. Because
clearly
nobody wants to stash Mike Mayer,
No.
but I did for that very reason too. Another guy who's tearing it up the last 2 weeks. And I almost feel like his path, because of Campbell's been a little flat lately, could be easier, or maybe, because Campbell does have that position flexibility where he can move them all over, give some guys some breaks, all that stuff. It's going to be a very complicated situation, but eventually it's going to work out. Eventually you can't keep him down too much longer. We're probably going to get him by Memorial Day, if not sooner. Let's talk about Cade Horton, Chicago Cubs prospect here, who right now currently is sitting on a AAA ERA of 1.06 over his first 17 innings, 23 strikeouts. Now he does have 11 walks. That's a bit of a problem. That walk rate is far too high. Is he a legitimate option here to help the Chicago Cubs rotation, or is this maybe pushing a kid a little too far, a little too fast, and could it stunt his growth?
The only thing that's pushing him too far is the missed time. He's had just like a lot of injuries as of recent. But he used to be one of the top prospects out there. His fastball velo is back. I want to say last year it was around like the 94 range. It's up at 96. The command is a little bit shaky right now, but they're stretching up the innings. The strikeouts can be there with the pitch mix. The fastball is back up. And, Colin Ray has been great, surprisingly, but Ben Brown has not been. Ben Brown in that rotation has got like a 6 ERA. So I think they could make a move soon because Cade Horton has been outside of the walks has been like absolutely dominant in the minors. So I think, he's not like a must go and run and pick up, but he is potential streamer that could stay into that rotation. I think we need to pay attention to him. He's in between that gap of when we talked about JT Ginn on this episode, on this show, and Bubba Chandler. Like he's in the middle ground here where if you're in a deeper league and you could stash him, I do think he gets an opportunity soon.
Next up on the list, staying with the Chicago Cubs, let's talk about a catching prospect.
Mosies Ballesteros. As I write in the article, it's hard for a team to hold down a prospect that's hitting over 400, especially a catcher. So how long can you do it? The Cubs are currently testing it because Mosies Ballesteros is one of the hottest hitters out there. He's hitting over 400, pretty good behind the plate as well. Could be another jolt for that offense. The Cubs made some weird moves here or there that I think we should get him up. The only problem is like how many young catchers do they want to bring up? But Ballesteros, physically maybe like a little bit behind from an athletic standpoint, but it is a huge live bat hitting over 400 in AAA. And I think in 2 catcher leagues, if he is called up, you should pick him up immediately. And he might put himself in a Agustin Ramirez type of range in like a 15-team eligible if and when he gets called up. So pay attention to Mosies Ballesteros.
Now, the guy that I'm really excited about is Ian Seymour. That's the Tampa Bay starting pitcher. 25 innings so far, 2.49 ERA, a 1.18 whip, 35 strikeouts in 25 innings, just 7 walks. This is one that I think we got to start pressing here a little bit. I talked about him a couple weeks ago because he came out of the gates hot, and he has still been red hot, Welsh.
He was in my article last 2 weeks ago. So I do it every 2 weeks. If you guys want to check it out, I've got the 5 and then guys you should pay attention to. Ian Seymour was there. He is back again. And it's like you said, he's been dominant. The negative is that rotation is really full with the Rays. And we also saw like Joe Boyle come up. So he wasn't the first guy. The positive is Ian Seymour right now has, I believe he is either the leader or top 1 or 2 in AAA for K- walk percentage and swinging strike rate and strikeouts. Like he has been a strikeout monster, and you really want to pay attention to like swinging strike rate and K- walk percentage as well. But his K percentage is like 35%, some crazy number. Swinging strike rate is the best I think in AAA. That if he gets an opportunity, the Rays, they do their voodoo magic sometimes. He's a guy that is on no radars. Deeper league should pay attention to. It's just like how does he get there based on this rotation? Injuries will probably put him on the docket, but put a little pin and a watch list on Ian Seymour.
All right, everybody, that's Prospecting with the Welsh. Remember, you can always go to FantasyPros.com to read more about the prospects that Welsh is looking at. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB, for more great fantasy baseball content.